Heaven for us was when he and my mother went on vacation all alone and left us at the house. We had so much fun at the house. We would listen to music as loud as we wanted to, watch television until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and played video games like Super Mario Brothers, Link, etc. Vacation with him was definitely hell. I even preferred to do homework than to go with them. Missat was no exception to the abuse that SAV and I experienced. Once, the turntable of the microwave was burned. Missat had apparently heated up his food a few minutes too long. He seemed really afraid, for he could sense that the whip was coming. The first thing he did when he arrived at the house was to go to the microwave. Missat had been in the kitchen, but went to his room before Avon arrived. The wait was always the most painful part of the abuse process. Upon arriving, Avon immediately went to inspect the microwave. "What happened?" he asked me. "I don't really know. I suppose he tried to warm up something in the microwave. When I arrived, I saw that he was trying to put out the fire." "Did you give him permission to use a microwave?" "No, I didn't." Missat was not allowed to use a microwave without permission because Avon said he was too young. "Missat, get your butt over here," Avon commanded. He came down the stairs and hesitated entering the kitchen. Avon was looking at him as if he were going to devour him whole. "Haven't I told you never to use a microwave without permission?" "I just wanted to heat up a little bit of the food," he squeaked out like a little mouse. Avon took the whip from the kitchen closet and let it dance around Missat's butt in the dining room for a few minutes. And Avon kept saying, "When I tell you to do something, you do it." As I write this now, clarity seizes me, and I think I partially understand the words he was saying to Missat. Avon had heard these words from somewhere before. They did not originate from his mind. He appropriated them from his past, perhaps from one of his abusive parental figures. I say this for I am now able to put many of my spiritual experiences together. "Do you understand?" he shouted at him as he tightened his teeth. "I'm going to work out. When I return, I don't want to hear anything from you. Is that understood? Get out of my face." Missat ran to his room as fast as he could. I thought to myself that perhaps he was thinking I was lucky. It only lasted 5 minutes. Perhaps that was what he was thinking, but he had no idea what would ensue. As he usually did, Avon had planned to go to the gym soon after coming home. But that would not be a typical day. He searched the refrigerator for something to eat, and somehow he found himself by the microwave again. His facial expression altered as he observed the microwave. Perhaps I should not have been laughing, but the look on his face was too much. He was exaggerating the nature of the disaster. "Missat, come here. I don't think you've had enough. Go bring me the whip." He tried whipping Missat in the butt again, but Missat was trying unsuccessfully to block the strikes with his hands. Avon turned him about. "Why don't you ever listen when I tell you something? Huh? Answer me." "I'm sorry. I'll show you sorry." He hit him some more and then let him go. "Get out of here." Missat practically ran out of there back to his room upstairs. Avon ate his peanut butter sandwich and drank his protein powder drink and went to work out at the gym. He returned about an hour and a half later to the kitchen. I was standing by the big tall counter between the actual kitchen and the eating table. The right side of my face was parallel to the kitchen door. The telephone was to my left, and I was leaning against the wall a little. Avon came into the kitchen and went to have another look at the microwave. This was the third time. A most hilarious frown was depicted on his face. I struggled to contain my laughter. I tightened my stomach and grinned my teeth. I knew that my success at not laughing was dire, for I did not want to be whipped. I averted my eyes away from him. "Missat, get your butt over here. I'm not done with you yet." He grabbed Missat by the hand. "I don't think you've had enough," he said to Missat. So again, Missat was whipped for a few more minutes. Despite the difficulties we were having at home with Avon, every once in a while I tried to think about the positive aspect of him. I thought it was nice of him to take on such a big responsibility for children who were not his. Financially, We were fine. After all, we lived in a beautiful blue house, thanks to him. The grass to the right of the house was well maintained. There was a nice green tree on the grass near the edge of the side to the right of the house, if one were facing toward the street. Even the street was indicative of the quality of life. It was always clean. It was definitely no ghetto. These thoughts were overcome by another set of thoughts. I told myself that he was always mistreating us without due cause. If he hated us so much, he could have let us stay in Africa. Years later, after I had completed my college degree, I would understand the man a little better. My mother would confide in me the story of how he first met Avon. It was a fatal attraction, I thought. He followed her to her lodging. After hearing the story, it was clear to me that she knew that there was something mentally or psychological off about the guy. He displayed a clear sign for his inclination for violence. Yet, I am convinced my mother took the chance to try out the relationship because of us. I believed she had convinced herself that it was worth it. Her children were in West Africa without a father or a mother. They were living with a grandmother who hated her children and who practiced the dark arts. She wanted to get us out of there, and so that was her best option, so she thought. She was 28 years old. In my mind, she was still very young. She definitely wanted to become a U.S. citizen in order to help us. She initially came to the United States with an American couple. She was their maid. Their 2 daughters were born in Togo, and she took care of them at the capital. This was part of the reason why we hardly saw our mother when we were children. Now, I believe that Avon and my mother's meeting was not by chance. The cards were drawn out before their births. What decision they would make once they met would be entirely up to them. Every step of their near-decade relationship would be filled with choices. How they would treat each other would not be forced by, quote-unquote, God. They were free beings. We learned through different types of relationships as couples, sons and fathers, mothers and daughters, as siblings, colleagues, associated co-workers, and as friends. Each day is an opportunity to become more aware about love through positive energy. Each day is a chance to demonstrate the good intentions we as souls, quote-unquote, came here to manifest. Some of us falter more than others. Avon was faltering big. As you will see, his fall would be formidable. It began one day when Dada came to pick us up from school in her car.